On this episode of the CBD University Podcast, we take you around the industry and check in with another CBD brand to see how they are adapting to the changing landscape of the CBD industry and the emerging trends in product development. This is the CBD University Podcast, and it starts right now. I'm Joe Agostinelli, host of the CBD University Podcast. If you are a returning listener, I welcome you back to our podcast. If you are a new listener, we are glad you found us on your favorite podcast platform of choice. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast wherever you get your podcasts and get notifications when new episodes are published each week. You can also catch full video episodes of our podcast on the YouTube channel from week to week if you'd rather watch the video episode. And for those who do watch our video episodes rather than listen to them or do a little bit of both, you'll notice this is another one of our Zoom episodes. And we've talked to a number of folks in the industry. We featured reporters, industry advocates, legal representatives, distribution partners. But for the first time on our podcast, we welcome a fellow brand in the CBD industry, Sunday Scaries. And their co-founders are joining me, Mike, Sill and Beau Schmitt. Mike and Beau, welcome to the podcast.
What's up, Joe? Thanks for having us.
Stoked to be here.
So you guys, although I'm in Tampa, you guys are in whereabouts in California?
We're located in San Diego.
Very nice. Hopefully it's nice and warm out there too.
Always is.
Frigid 60.
First of all, 60 here, and they dress in winter clothes. So, first of all, let's talk about the history and the story behind Sunday Scaries. Why did you guys start with Sunday Scaries? And where did the name come from?
That's going to be Mike.
I'll hop on that. So Beau and I actually used to own a bar and grill together. So we had a past venture right outside downtown San Diego, a local neighborhood sports bar with a focus on craft beer. And we were in the hospitality industry for about a decade in its entirety. And about 2 years in of opening the bar, we were incredibly stressed out, to put it lightly. We were burning both ends of the candle, going to work early and working, on the business by trying to find ways to promote and cut costs, negotiate with vendors, and then also in the business, we were running around helping to host, bartend, expo food. However much we could, put in enough effort to make sure that business was running. And one day, our buddy Garrett came in and noticed that we were just visibly stressed, hadn't slept for a while, and we're just worried about how the business was functioning and paying bills and all that. And he was like, "Hey, Beau and Mike, I got to get you guys out of here for a weekend. Let's go play some golf." So Beau and I hesitated a little bit because we were shackled to the business and felt like we always had to be there, but finally said yes and got out in the course with him. And he reached for his bag and grabbed out some CBD, a tincture. And Beau and I both took it without hesitation on that, and felt the immediate, cool, calm relief, and fell in love with CBD right there on the golf course. And then after that, went home, jumped on the computer and tried to look for products to buy. And that was 2017. And it was really tough finding brands at that time. There was definitely gaps in the market with regards to credibility, different brands showcasing their supplement facts and what ingredients were actually in the products. And then there was a lack of like a sticky CPG brand as well. So we decided to make the plunge.
And we went from that back in 2017 now to a very saturated market, and staying top of mind in a consumer's mind is no easy task. So it's one of the major brands out there. What are some of the challenges you face with thousands of companies entering the market to try and capitalize on the popularity of CBD today?
Yeah, so, 2017, early 2018, it was amazing because Facebook, Google, Amazon didn't have any anti-CBD policies. We could scale really quick. We did scale really quickly. And ingredient-based marketing was all we needed. Hey, we have a CBD product. People are like, oh, hell yeah, I want to buy that. Now, as the industry has matured, just like any industry, whether it's coconut water or razors or deodorants, the brand and that brand archetype is really what defines, your ability to differentiate yourself from your competitors. And so, we're, as Simon Sinek put it in the TED Talks, we move away from the what we're selling and why we're selling it. What is our mission? What is our vision in 3 years? And so we're really, the number one core value for Sunday Scaries, and we have 5 core values that we hold close to our chest, is delivering happiness. The Tony Shea Zappa story, where we'll do everything for our customer. Customer service is number one. If someone calls us and they're like, "Hey, I'm in Austin, I need a pizza place," we'll look it up. And just making sure that the customer doesn't feel alone in their journey with anxiety and stress. And that's also something that differentiates us, is, very customer centric, but we only focus on stress and anxiety. We don't focus on pain, inflammation, and a lot of the other, cure-alls that the companies market towards. So, we're also millennial focused. We have a fun brand archetype. We consider ourselves the Deadpool of the wellness, CBD industry. A little edgy, not perfect, but try to be the superheroes for those around us and our personal scary squad. We felt when we entered the industry that most of the companies were focused on targeting the boomer generation, but the millennial generation, I'm a millennial. Millennials are 24 to 40 years old. We have a very unique set of anxieties, kind of these over-the-counter anxieties that plague us. And that's what we wanted to tackle, right? Everything from social media, online dating, student loans, financial distress, technological isolation. And so that's how we approach and differentiate our brand.
So let's shift gears a little bit and expanding the brand. And the end of March brings the deadline to apply for the novel foods dossier in the UK. And since CBD is considered a novel food, that means brands such as Sunday Scaries need to submit a lengthy dossier. Talk a little bit about your UK expansion.
Yeah, so we started that towards the end of 2020 and immediately saw success there. A lot of it has to do with just the earned media presence that we have, as well as influencer marketing. And I think that the consumer base out there really resonates with our brand because we bring the California chill to the UK. That whole process has been great from the front end. Obviously, there's the impending doom of, I think it's the end of March actually is the deadline to submit. And to be honest with you, we didn't really have the infrastructure, the internal infrastructure to fully be able to take that on. We recently just hired on an operations manager with a supply chain and logistics background. But in order to do that, obviously it's important because you want your stability tests and you want to ensure that you're selling something safe to the consumer. We follow the same practices that we do here in the US with the third-party COAs. Obviously, we source our materials from a hemp farm in Greeley, Colorado. We flew out there and personally met with the farmers, and we have a really good strategic partnership with our processing facility, who has every certificate under the sun, just to ensure that what we're selling to the consumers are safe. And the same thing just transfers over to the UK.
And what about here in the US as a brand? How do you see the new administration impacting the CBD industry? It's something we've talked about with industry insiders now for the last few months.
Yeah, I mean, it's a guessing game, but obviously, we're all in for Sunday Scaries. So we have a lot of confidence that it's, wholehearted confidence that it's going in the right direction, that CBD as a dietary supplement will be classified as, generally regarded as safe grass, and it'll, enter mainstream health and wellness industry like a turmeric, like a fish oil, like a biotin. And, the amount of excitement that brings to Mike and I, because we really do think that CBD has exponentially more benefits than that it even currently, is praised to help with. So, as far as the the administration, we can just say that we, every quarter we check up. We think it's moving in the positive direction.
Yeah, to dovetail off that too, that was great, Beau. I think that, there's two things happening. One, there's this anticipation in the CBD industry, specifically for them to make an announcement that it's going to be a dietary supplement. And I feel like the FDA gets hammered, especially by our industry. Like, why are they dragging their feet? What the heck is going on? But considering the past year with the pandemic, I mean, they've had their hands full. And then, you stack on like an opioid crisis on top of that. It's kind of important to show some empathy too on just how much they probably have on their desks, and then simultaneously, you have this whole thing going on with marijuana, and you're seeing states by states, it's like a domino effect of this recreational activity happening where it's being allowed. And I think that as more and more states start falling, I think federally, they're going to have to look at it differently. And obviously that's going to affect the cannabis industry in its entirety.
And shifting gears now to products, making CBD accessible and affordable, and especially you talk about that, millennial, age range. How does Sunday Scaries keep CBD accessible and affordable for its customers?
I think that we're not the kind of brand that sells to everybody. We definitely want to make sure that we keep it affordable to our consumer base. But as we talked about earlier, there's 3,500 other CBD brands on the market, and we're not like a value-based brand. We're not selling like a discount product. We spend a ton of money on R&D for our products. We spend a ton of money on building the brand, and I think that the right consumer will respect that, and they're going to want an elevated product. So, are we the most expensive CBD company in the game? Absolutely not, but we're not a value-based product either.
And something I did notice on the website when we talk about products is we see more and more of this in the industry of specialized products. I noticed you have a line of edibles that are vegan. Talk a little bit about your vegan products and what led to the development of those products. And I've got a bottle of the vegan gummies right here.
So, I mean, our number one core value, like I mentioned, is deliver happiness. So, we have a very active consumer base that we get feedback from. And we get that through email, through surveys, through NPS. And after we launched our flagship CBD gummies with vitamins and CBD oil with vitamins, the next step was really listening to our consumers and figuring out what they wanted. One unique thing, fun thing that we love doing is we actually, besides our two flagship gummies and oils, we individually brand each product. So it's not like Sunday Scaries vegan gummies, it's vegan AF, or it's strawberries, or it's unicorn jerky. So that
was not planned, by the way, but I just had them in my hand to talk a little bit about what's behind the strawberries. But just as you mentioned, I just happen to have it in my hand. So.
Yeah, and it's really so that the consumer feels like they have a product that really represents them, right? Mm-hmm. It's vegan AF. You're taking that stance. And it was tricky because, vitamin D3, which is in most of our products for added benefits, is actually lanolin based, which is, from sheep's wool. Not a lot of people know that, but vegans know that. So the D3 specific to that product is from lichen, so it's plant-based. Moving into the other products, unicorn jerky is very close to us, especially Mike's history. Strawberries is very close to me. We launched that last year for October for Breast Cancer Awareness Month because, growing up, my second mom, my best friend's mom passed away from breast cancer. So we try to do everything to give back to, for this, we donate a portion to the Pink Agenda to, further cancer research.
And I was going to ask that because I noticed on the back of the label, I don't know how good the camera's going to pick it up, but there it is, the pink, gotta love high definition, the pink ribbon, obviously on the back. And these are the strawberries, which are a strawberry gummy. But talk a little bit about the cause behind that and proceeds from the sales of these.
Yeah, so they go to the pink agenda. And then, when you order that, it comes with a little postcard that talks about Lisa, who was like my second mom who passed away. And it even hit harder because this past October, my best friend growing up, Drew, had his first baby boy, Parker. So, we wish that Lisa could be around to see that. And, that's why we're here. It's part of our why, part of our mission, our vision is to give back and do the best that we can to promote better mental health, and use the brand to do fun things to give back.
And finally, off of the trends, what other trends in 2021 so far are you keeping an eye on, and how does the emergence of minor cannabinoids play into the roadmap?
Yeah, so we're looking to experiment with other minors, specifically CBN. So stay tuned for a product that's going to roll out by May, which is going to be a sleep tincture. More to come on that. And I think that's going to be a trend that's going to continue snowballing throughout the year for sure, is just more studies coming out on what the particular cannabinoids do by themselves, as well as, together with other ones specifically. And then finally, I'm sure we should probably just discuss Delta 8, which is something that we're going to abstain from diving into. I think there's always legal gray area in CBD, and I think there's even more with regards to Delta 8. And we try to make all of our products so they're non-psychoactive, but I think it's just in its infancy stages. It might be a flash in the pan, but I feel like there's something that's going to come out by the FDA or some sort of regulatory body about whether or not they can do that, since it's so close to THC, which is Schedule 1. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, guys, I want to thank you for the conversation. Always a pleasure to catch up with fellow brands and thought leaders in the industry. I enjoyed the conversation. Mike Sill, and Beau Schmitt, my guest on this episode of the CBD University Podcast. You can visit Sunday Scaries online, sundayscaries.com, and see all the products that they have. And I tell you what, as we get into October and some of the other different months, I would love to get together again and talk about some of the causes behind your products. I think that's a great story.
Amazing, Joe. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you guys. And I thank you for listening to this episode of the CBD University Podcast. A reminder, if you have not yet done so, you can subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcast platform of choice and get notifications when new episodes are published each week. I'm Joe Augustinelli, the host of the CBD University Podcast. Thanks for tuning in. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. CBD products are not intended to treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition. Always consult your personal physician about CBD and using CBD products. CBD should never be used by anyone under the age of 18. This podcast is not intended to provide legal advice regarding the legal status of CBD and CBD products.